The first technique is the good old box modeling. Make sure you have your reference images and they're scaled properly. One thing you can do is go over to the right side and click the filter button, then select this arrow. Now you see a new icon next to your objects, and if you uncheck it, you won't be able to select the object. This helps prevent accidentally selecting the reference images. Now select your cube and hit Ctrl 1 to give it a subdivision surface modifier with the quality level of 1. I like to start with the head, so move that cube to the head and scale it properly. One more thing you can do is go to the shading tab and change the lighting to matte cap. Then select this shading mode. It'll make your models way more visible when using the X-ray mode. Then I applied the subsurf modifier and deleted one half of the mesh to give it a mirror modifier. It's a good practice to use the clipping option in the mirror modifier. Since we're just starting out, try not to add too many details and just roughly follow the outlines of the reference. Once you're happy with your head, it's time to go for the neck. Select the two bottom faces and hit I to insert them. You can click the B key to toggle the boundary on or off. Make sure it follows the reference on both sides. To fine-tune the shape, you can select a vertex and click the G key twice to use the vertex slide mode. This will let you slide the vertex along its connected edges. Then just select the neck and extrude it down. You can flatten it out by selecting the bottom faces and scaling them down to 0 on the Z-axis. Then shape it according to your reference image. Once it looks good enough, you can extrude the bottom faces to make the torso. Feel free to add a couple of loop cuts by pressing Ctrl key plus R. Once it was close enough to the reference, I extruded the bottom faces to make the pelvis. Then I selected the bottom faces and rotated them to extrude the thighs. I also disabled clipping in the mirror modifier so that I get two separate limbs when I extrude. Once I was happy with my legs, I moved on to the arms. I selected these four faces and made sure they're aligned with the reference. Then I inset them for the shoulders. Now try to align the inset vertices with the reference. The vertex slide feature is very useful here. Then extrude out the shoulders and again align them to the reference. Then I selected the bottom faces of the shoulder and extruded them to make the arms. Add a loop cut to create the bicep, then extrude the forearm. Make sure to give the arms a natural bend, it'll make rigging them a lot easier. The arms looked very blocky, so I selected the corner edges and used the edge slide tool by selecting the edges and pressing the G key twice to smooth them out. Now they looked a lot more natural but too thin, so I adjusted them until it felt right. Then using the same edge slide tool, I smoothed out the shoulder as well, adding another loop cut on the arms to give more definition to the shoulders. And I also shrink down the edges below the chest to make the chest pop out. I personally like a pointy chin on these stylized characters, so that's what I did for this one as well. To make the feet, I took the three front faces of the legs and extruded them outwards. Use the edge slide tool again to shape everything properly. You can select the rest of the body and click the H key to hide it. Then you can have a better look at the feet. And there you have it, your own low poly 3D character. The next way I make characters is by using different meshes for different parts of the character. And for this, we're making an astronaut, because why not? So I started with a subdivided cube, and this time I left it circular because an astronaut's helmet is mostly round. Then I added another cube for the torso. At this point, I'm not caring about precision, just getting the silhouette of the character in place. We use the same technique for the arms and legs. But you can see the joints look a bit weird, so we cover them up with a few more cubes. Once I was happy with the shape of our astronaut, I started adding details. I inset the front faces before extruding them inwards to make the glass. Then I gave it a reflective material to make it look like a piece of glass. The best part about this technique is that you can tweak individual parts without worrying about the rest of the body since they're all different objects. I added a loop cut at the legs to make the pants look a bit more bulky, as it's been a trend recently. After that, I extruded the two back faces of the torso to make the oxygen tank of our astronaut. Adding a few loop cuts to make it look less like a cube is a good idea. Then I added a few more details by creating a loop cut around the middle of the torso and extruding the lower part inwards. Then I colored all the joints also to give our model a bit more personality. After a few adjustments, I remembered our astronaut needs a pair of flashlights to see in the dark. So I inset the side faces and extruded them. Then I inset the front face again to make an indent for our flashlight and gave it an emissive material. Now our astronaut is ready to travel the universe. Now it might not look that great from up close, but if you're making a game with a top-down view or any style that uses pixelation, this is all you need. Next one is one of my favorite techniques because you can make really cool stuff with it very easily. What you want to do is add a cube, go to the edit mode, make sure you're in the vertex select mode, select all the vertices by hitting A, hit M to see the merge menu, then A to merge all the vertices at center. Now you'll have just one vertex. Now go to the modifier section and add the skin modifier, then the subdivision surface modifier. You can turn on smooth shading from the skin modifier's options. Also add the mirror modifier and make sure it's on the top. Now you can select the vertex in the edit mode and move it however you want. But when you press S to scale it, you'll see it doesn't work. Instead, we use Ctrl A to scale the vertices. Now you can extrude the vertices and scale them to get the shape you want. You can go very far with this. I'm trying to model a small alien-like creature with huge legs. I also increased the level of subdivision to 2 to make it a bit smoother. Then I added a cube and subdivided it as well to make the eyes. Then I did the same thing for the mustache. And after adding some colors, we have our own little alien. So these are the 3 techniques I use to model characters for my games. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and join my Patreon if you wanna support me. Feel free to comment if you have any questions, and have a nice day.